It started with a note, not the kind you'd expect. No lipstick kiss, no dramatic farewell. Just a single folded piece of paper in the back of her lingerie drawer. Underneath satin that hadn't been touched in months. Maybe years. The drawer wasn't even open for a reason. I was just looking for something to fix the squeaky hinge. Something small, stupid. Instead, I found it. Folded twice, yellowed slightly at the corners. My name written in ink that didn't quite look like hers. If you ever find this, it means. You already know. No signature, no explanation. Just that sentence that I read it 5 times before she walked into the room. I shoved it into my pocket like it was stolen. Maybe it was. Her eyes flicked to me, then to the drawer. You okay? She asked, casual, but tight. Yeah, just fixing the hinge. She smiled. A little too late. A little too wide. Her name is Claire. My wife of 7 years. The woman I met when I was stupid and invincible and thought love could drown out everything else. The kind of woman who looked like a song and moved like a secret. For years, we were good. Not perfect, but real. Fights over dishes, laughing until it hurt at midnight, making love on the living room floor just because. And then, a year ago, something changed. The silences got longer. The laughter stopped echoing. Sex became routine. Or worse, polite. But I stayed, because I believed we could come back from it. Until that note. That night, after she fell asleep, I went back to the drawer, emptied everything. Piece by piece. At the bottom, tucked behind a travel-sized bottle of perfume, was a flash drive. No label. No cover. I plugged it into my laptop like it might explode. There were 3 files. All audio. All with the same voice. Not hers. A man's. Calm. Older. Familiar in a way that made my skin crawl. Claire, if you're hearing this, it means I'm gone. And it means you kept your promise, or you broke it. Either way, it's time. He deserves to know. The voice belonged to Martin Keller, our old family friend. Dead 2 years now. Died in a car crash. Closed casket. Too fast. Too sudden. He'd been like an uncle to Claire. At least, that's what she always said. I listened to all 3 files. By the end, my hands were shaking. Because what he revealed wasn't just an affair. It was a pact. A lie that spanned years. Something bigger than cheating. Something rooted in guilt, in silence, in loss. And it all circled back to Claire. What she did. To what she kept from me. What I was never supposed to know. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I watched. The way she bit her lip while texting. The way she jumped when her phone buzzed. The long walks she claimed were for air. I started following her. And that's when I saw him. Not Martin, of course. He was gone. But someone new. Younger. Taller. Dark hair. Hands always in his pockets like he was hiding something. They met twice that week. Once at a bookstore. Once in a motel parking lot. She never saw me. I didn't sleep for days. Didn't eat. The note. The files. The man. And Claire, lying next to me every night like nothing was breaking. Until finally, I asked her. Not directly. Not yet. Did you ever love Martin? She froze. Then, why would you ask that? I didn't answer. She didn't either. She just got up. Went to the bathroom. Locked the door. And I heard her cry. But not like someone who got caught. Like someone mourning something they never meant to lose. I sat on the bed. Opened my laptop. Played the files again. And hit record. Claire, if you're hearing this, it means I know. And it means everything we built. The house. The marriage. The silence. Is cracking. But I'm not running. This time, you tell me the whole story. The motel was called Eden Pines Point, one of those cheap places with flickering neon, faded signs, and curtains that never quite closed. I parked across the street, engine off, heart pounding like I was the one cheating. Claire arrived just before noon. Same coat she wore on our first date. Hair tucked into a messy bun. No makeup. She looked younger. Guilty. The man was already there, tall. Dark jeans. Fidgeted a lot. Like he was nervous. Or high. They didn't kiss. Didn't touch. But the way they spoke, too close, too quiet, told me it wasn't innocent. I waited. They were inside for 43 minutes. When she came out, her eyes were red. That night, I didn't sleep, just watched her breathe. The moon spilled over her face like it was trying to reveal something I couldn't see. I finally spoke. Who is he? She didn't move. Claire, I saw you. At the motel. She sat up slowly, like waking from a bad dream. You followed me? Yes. Silence. He's not what you think. Then what is he? She took a deep breath. He's Martin's son. I blinked. What? She nodded. His name is Adrian. He found me a few weeks ago. Said his father left something for me. Something he wasn't supposed to know about. We sat in the kitchen. 2:13 a.m. Coffee going cold. He said Martin kept a journal, she said. Wrote everything down. The affair. The money. The accident. My stomach turned. You told me Martin died in a crash. She nodded. He did. But it wasn't an accident. What are you saying? She looked me dead in the eye. He was going to confess. To you. To everyone. About me. About us. And then he drove off a cliff. She handed me another flash drive. Smaller. Newer. This one Adrian gave me. I plugged it in .1 file. Martin's voice again. I tried to protect her. Maybe that was the mistake. Maybe I should have let her burn. But when you love someone like that, you believe in their future more than they do. Claire, if they find this, I'm gone. And if he finds this, you owe him the truth. I looked at her. You were going to leave me, weren't you? She hesitated. I thought about it. Right after Martin died, I was lost. I didn't know who I was without his control. Control? She looked down. He wasn't who you think. He helped me. Yes. But he also owned me. Emotionally. Financially. Sexually. For years. My jaw tightened. And you never told me? She shook her head. Because I thought it ended with him. I thought coming back to you was enough. We didn't sleep that night. She told me everything. How it started when I was working late shifts. How Martin offered to take care of her while I was away. How what began as comfort became dependency. How she tried to end it. How he threatened to ruin everything if she did. And how the night he died might not have been an accident after all. He called me before the crash, she whispered. Said he was going to tell you everything. Said if I didn't come with him, he'd do it anyway. Did you go? No. Did you know she shook her head. No. But I didn't stop him either. I sat there, hollow, not because she'd lied. Not because she cheated, but because I didn't see it, didn't see her slipping, didn't see her suffering, didn't see Martin for what he was. The next morning, she packed a bag. I'll go, she said. You deserve better. But I stopped her at the door. No, I said. I deserve the truth. And now I have it. She looked at me, tears forming. Then what do? I exhaled. We start over. From the ugliest part. From the scar. And we see if we can make something that survives it. Adrian showed up at my work in a warning. No message. Just appeared at the front desk like he owned the room. Calm. Calculated. Wearing the same jacket from the motel. My receptionist told me he asked for me by name. Not Mr. Halstead. Just Nathan. Like we were old friends. He waited in the break room. Hands in his pockets. Eyes like his father's. I figured you'd want to talk without her around, he said. You've heard the files, haven't you? I didn't answer. He pulled a small, black envelope from his coat. Slid it across the table. What's this? Photos, he said. From before the accident. Some of them have timestamps. Some of them might change how you see things. I opened it. Pictures of Claire and Martin. Not in bed. Not kissing. But close. Private. Hotel lobbies. Conference rooms. One of them at an ATM together. Another in what looked like a hospital, and one of her crying. Makeup smeared. Martin holding her wrist a little too tightly. These aren't just about cheating, Adrian said. They're about control. I looked up. So why are you showing me this? He leaned forward. Because I don't think she told you everything. And because I don't trust her. Or you. Not yet. Back home, Claire was pacing. He came to see you, didn't he? Yes. What did he say? He gave me photos. Told me not to trust you. She went pale. You think I planned this? That I wanted Martin's son to dig up the past? I don't know what to think anymore, I said. You kept so much hidden. Every time I get closer to understanding, another life floats up. She walked to the kitchen window. Martin made sure of that. Even dead, he's still playing us. That night, I opened the photos again. Studied the backgrounds. The dates point one of them. Claire standing outside a women's shelter. Another, Martin, in a lawyer's office. And then, something new. A bank receipt, dated 2 weeks before his death. $150,000 transferred. From Martin's account. To Claire's. I showed it to her. She didn't flinch. He gave it to me, she said. To disappear. To start over. But you didn't disappear. No, I stayed. Because I loved you more than I feared him. A few days later, Adrian sent me a message. We need to talk again. Urgently. Meet me at the Cornerstone, 9 p.m. I almost didn't go, but curiosity has its own gravity. When I arrived, Adrian was already there. Pale, sweating. There's something else, he said. Something I found in my father's safe deposit box. It's not just about Claire. It's about you too. He handed me a folded paper. A will. Martin had named Claire as beneficiary, and me as backup. I stared at Adrian. What is this? My father didn't trust Claire at the end, he said. He wrote you in, just in case. In case of what? He leaned in. In case she finished what he started. I stood. This is manipulation. He's dead. You're still trying to pull his strings. Maybe, Adrian said. But the truth? It never stays buried. That night, I came home to find Claire in the dark, waiting. I know where you were, she said, and she held up her phone. A voice recording. Adrian's. You recorded him? No, she said. He sent it to me. To warn me. He thinks I'm dangerous. And are you? She stepped closer. Her voice low. I don't. No, not anymore. But I know I'm tired of running. From you. From him. From all of it. I didn't say anything. I just walked to her. Held her. She shook in my arms like a storm finally collapsing. We stood like that for minutes. Hours. I couldn't tell, but I knew one thing. This wasn't over. It was only just beginning. 2 days passed. Claire was quieter than usual. Not fragile, but focused, like someone calculating the weight of her own history. I barely slept. Adrian's words replayed in my head like a warning siren. The photos, the money, the will. What was truth? What was manipulation? Then Claire came to me. There's something you haven't seen yet, she said. Something I buried. Literally. She took me to the backyard. Near the old tree. We dug together. Dirt under fingernails. No words. After 20 minutes, we hit. Metal. A lockbox. Inside, one photo, one USB stick, and a small ring box. The photo was from 10 years ago. Claire and Martin. Smiling. She was barely 20. And she looked different. Brighter. But smaller too. Like someone trying to fit into a life that didn't quite match her shape. The ring box held a necklace. Simple. Silver. The one she said. She lost on our honeymoon. She didn't lose it. She buried it. The USB was encrypted. She gave me the password without hesitation. August nights. It opened one video file. Martin at his desk. The same room from the earlier audios. This time, he looked older. Tired. If you're seeing this, Claire, it means you've let him in. Really in. And that's the only reason I'm allowing this message to exist. He deserves to know everything. Not just what we were, but what I did. What I covered up. And what I made you do. You weren't guilty. I made you believe you were. I used you. I made you lie. Because I didn't want to lose you. Tell him the truth. Not the version that protects me. The one that sets you free. Claire sat beside me, trembling. I never had a voice. She whispered. With him. I thought I did. But every choice he gave me was an illusion. I nodded. Tell me everything. She did. How she met Martin when she was 19. How he promised to help her get away from her family. How he paid for her school. Her apartment. Her life. But every kindness was currency. Every favor came with a string. By the time I met her, she was already entangled, and she thought I was her way out. But Martin never really let go. I tried to leave him once, she said. He said he'd ruin you. Said he had files, photos, stories. Enough to make sure you lost everything. So you stayed. She shook her head. I pretended to. And I waited for him to die. The words hung in the air, sharp, cold. Final. I didn't flinch. Did you help it happen? I asked. She looked away. No. But I didn't stop it either. Later that night, I stood alone on the porch. The sky above me was cloudless. Empty. I thought about choice. About forgiveness. About the version of Claire I thought I knew. And the one who sat beside me now. Raw, unfinished, real. She joined me. Do you hate me now? No, I said. Then what do you feel? I looked at her. Like I'm finally standing in the truth. And I don't know if we'll survive it. But I'm not afraid of it anymore. She touched my hand. I want to rebuild, she said. But only if it's with all the truth. No shadows. No shame. I nodded. Then we start here. With the wreckage. And we build something that can't be shaken. 1 year later, the tree we dug under still stands. Taller now. Claire says it's because we disturbed the roots and let them breathe. I like that idea. That even damage can lead to growth. We didn't go back to what we were. That version of us no longer exists. Instead, we created a new version. Raw, imperfect, honest that we see a therapist. Together, separately, we write letters we never send. We talk about everything, especially the uncomfortable things. She wears the necklace again, not as a symbol of him, but as a reminder that secrets buried still shape the soil. Sometimes I wake up before her and just watch the way her chest rises. The small scar above her brow I never noticed before that I don't ask where she's been. She doesn't hide her phone that we're not flawless, but we're free. Adrian disappeared 6 months ago. Last we heard, he sold everything and moved to Berlin, but he sent one last message. Maybe some ghosts don't want to be exorcised. Maybe they just want to be remembered. We never replied that there's still pain, memories that sting when they surface, flashbacks that play on loop some nights. But we don't run, that we hold each other through them, because beneath the silence we once lived in there is now breath, truth, light, and a second chance, not at the past, but at the future, together.